Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction or read through for Tower of God chapter 633 or season 3 episode 216. Excited to read as always, but there was a bomb thumbnail this week and my immediate reaction going onto Webtoons was now bomb in the thumbnail, a bomb chapter, that doesn't mean it's going to be a bad chapter. It's just being completely honest, being completely fair. In season 3, usually whatever plot lines are involving Bomb are the least good, least interesting plot lines. The past few chapters have been incredible. I think the stuff with Traumeré and his judgment and punishment and Gastong has been extremely well written. And, I've kind of talked about that a lot over the course of the past 3 chapters, so I don't think I need to repeat myself a bunch. That's been really, really, really good. We haven't seen the Bomb stuff in a bit. Maybe even a couple months at this point. So it'll be interesting to cut back and see what we're going to get. If we do indeed cut back, for all I know, we might only just check in for one short couple of panels with what Bomb and Dumas are doing. But we haven't seen that in so long that it'll be interesting to see what's going on there. And I guess that's about all there is to say before reading. When it comes to the anime, I am so sorry that I am behind on it. I do want to catch up. I do want to be caught up. But there's so many other videos and so many other things that I want to do as well that I also haven't had time for. And honestly, if I did have a little bit more time, as soon as I get time this week, I'm going to try to catch up to the anime. But I would kind of rather do some of this other stuff than the anime. It's so sad that, if you can't tell, I've been making, it's nearly 9 years now, I think, that I have been making Tower of God videos every week. And there's so many other Tower of God YouTubers or Webtoon YouTubers that do primarily Tower of God. And are any of us caught up with the anime? I don't know if we are. So it's sad when your most hardcore of hardcore fans even then are I don't know if I don't know if I care to watch this. And even the last episode I watched was the one episode that I was like, oh, this is a good episode. This is the one good episode. The others were okay. I don't think it's the worst thing ever, but it's certainly not to the level that Tower of God should be in an anime format. But again, most of you watching this video, from my experience, from comments, and talking to all of you elsewhere, most of you watching this probably aren't watching the anime. Again, the hardcorest of hardest fan base is not watching. So, most of you probably aren't watching, so I'm gonna stop yapping about that. But I will try to catch up as soon as I possibly can when it comes to the anime. But yeah, either way, let's just get into reading this chapter. It makes me sad. I don't even want to talk about it. It could have been so good. I was so excited for it, and my expectations weren't set too incredibly high, because I know better than to do that. But even with my pretty tempered expectations, it flew way under the bar. We have a violence warning this week, and we are going straight back to where we left off with Bomb and his fight. Not even continuing on with any of the Gastong and Traumeré stuff. Gastong's whacking stick, I think, is one of my favorite weapons in Tower of God. And then we continue straight on. Leviathan transformation, Leviathan's 4 claws. Season 3, Battle in the Heart Chamber 3. His arms are surrounded by high-density Shinsu that forms itself into whatever shape he needs to attack. Was he waiting for this as well? Comes in. Did he want to make me think that his new form is for long-range attacks, so that I would close the distance between us? We have a barrage of attacks coming in. I like the way it looks visually with the one punch swing and then multiple of the spiraling attacks coming in from that. I'm beginning to deal some damage. It's not enough to seriously wound him, but I'm making progress at least. And then when you see it up close, it's like he's punching multiple times, which does look a little, it looks less cool, but still. And Bomb also knew something. I feel like it's been so rare and so special that we've gotten these narrator boxes that it kind of makes me sad that it's being used here, because it's like, this just doesn't feel at the level for us to be using narrator boxes. Based on Damas's previous behavior, Damas makes mistakes from time to time. And again, this is what I was saying too, before we cut away from the Bomb and Damas fight. A lot of the narrator box things were things that we were already seeing through the art, or could have been told to us through the art. I think it would have been so much nicer, rather than these narrator boxes, if we had seen through their fight so far. If the art had just been used to highlight his mistakes so far, so that we could see this coming through the art itself, instead of like show not tell, instead of directly like literally telling us. But even when he does, he never backs down. Then they're both still attacking. In other words, Damas's behavior is predictable to some extent, and that means Bomb might actually be able to beat him. And again, why the box glazing? Why the random narrator glazing? Damas goes in for a punch, but Bomb's arms are right there, and they have sharp, pointy things spiraling around them. He grabs on. I've got you now. This is his chance. And do we need the narrator to tell us this? Big bash sound effect, just lots of stuff on screen to strike. I'm assuming he's using grabbing his arm to then, like, tear at his arm with this stuff. We see pieces of flesh just chopped off. And his arm... Okay, so he put his hands on his arm and he twisted his arm around like what Damas did to him. Again, this is a good thing for Bomb, like, continuing on the copying what he gets hit with stuff. And his arm's all spiraled up. We have Damas's reaction to it. That's the second time he's caught me off guard, thinks Damas. I don't understand how this is possible. Then Bomb's coming in. I can't give him time to recover. And this is something that I like, because I brought up last time how one of the chapters was using the same types of boxes for the narrator, for Damas and for Bomb, and like it made it hard to tell which was which, and it kind of bled into each other. And usually CU's good with using different boxes to differentiate the different voices, and I just thought it was sloppy not to. But now the narrator boxes are in white, the Damas thought boxes are in black, and Bomb's thoughts are in these splattered bubbles, which I think is cool because it differentiates them, but also I feel like the just pure, clean, strict box is a good presentation of Damas's thoughts, and then Bomb's thoughts with this splattered black ink is good because of how Bomb is pretty beat up right now, fighting against an opponent who should be like way stronger than him to try to save his friends. But that, I mean, it's kind of questionable about how he plans to do that by fighting Damas here. I'm sorry, Lord Gaston. We see the pink energy. I can no longer hold back against this boy. We have an eruption from where he is. I'm going to use my full power, even if that means killing him. We have purple energy, pinkish, coming out. Just like when his armor is in the weird naked Mr. Krabs form. As long as I may atone for my sins. Now. And it's interesting how he didn't seem to note at all. I guess he can't feel it when Gaston died. So this is, I guess, maybe confirmation that Gaston can literally die and his riding people can just continue. They are their own independent people. They can continue on living without him. Now, it's up to you to survive, boy. and the eyes that were on his forehead are now coming up off of him. Have another shot of the two of them. I will gladly accept death. Now that Bomb's senses were sharpened to the extreme, thanks to his transformation with Leviathan, he could detect even the smallest movements of Dumas's muscles and slightest twitch of his hair. Yet, all he could sense from Dumas at that moment was an overwhelming power capable of devouring everything around it. The power was similar to that of the tower's transcendent beings. It wasn't quite at the level of the 10 great family heads or Zahard whom Bomb had encountered virtually, but the power radiated by that dazzling weapon on his arm was almost strong enough to remind Bomb of them. I need to get closer to him. So again, we're just saying that, like, kind of like what I said before, where I was like, the oldest and most prominent members of the great families are probably, well, I mean, there's also people outside of the great families. There's like your top tier with like the 10 family heads and people that are arguably 10 family head level, like Mircea or Bakriun or obviously Mazano. There's those people, but then some of the princesses are up there too, but I guess that kind of makes sense because they have Zahard's blood, they have blood of other irregulars, it kind of makes sense. I think that just below them, probably in the like 20-some to 50 ranking, is like the strongest, most prominent members of the 10 great families. So like Dumas and Proust are probably up there when it comes to the Pobedau family. I think Dumas and Proust are probably like ranked 20-some to 50-ish. Then again, you know, if they were active, we know that Dumas's rank has kind of been lowered for inactivity a bit. And other characters like Lobadan and Kirin are probably up there for the Lopobia family. And some families probably have less than that. Some families probably maybe don't even have any that are ranked that highly, like the Hendolok. We don't know how strong, other than blood matter. The second strongest Hendolok, we have no clue how strong they might be. But then families like, where I was naming two that are like kind of standing above the other members of the families when it comes to Pobedau and Lopobia, there are probably more than two, maybe 3 to 5 members that are just like really, really strong for like the Kunha and REA families. And then before he ignites that weapon, Kun and Rak probably don't have much time left, no matter what it takes. He yells. He charges in with both hands. It's time to end this. Dumas's foot's coming in. And is he going to do the foot against the face thing? I guess maybe he did. We have Thuk, and I guess he kicks him away in the same way that he's been constantly doing the claw foot against the face when in his armor. Except he's not armored now. Bomb gets kicked away. Goes flying. He's further away now. Rosario? Ignite. So now we have Rosario being ignited. I like the way the eyes are still coming off like the back of the energy flowing from him. He punches forward, sending a blast. Re-entering Tower of Beams. But this kind of works because Rosario is being used kind of like a spear here, being sent forward. Bomb is pierced once again. But he stays on his feet. Get another shot of Dumas. I can't stop. I need to keep attacking at all costs. I have him using more of the Thorn, more of Leviathan. And he brings out the bow form. Right, more shots of energy. More shots of the two of them. It looks like they're both going to send another blast forward at each other. Another just massive panel, destruction, energy. We get recap shots of Kunenrak. Shot of Dumas here. I was trying my hardest, and yet he still managed to hurt me. Very impressive. And Bomb is now down with less energy coming off of him. Irregular. He's coughing and blood's pouring out. He's so strong. This is very different from the virtual Zahard or Yurik. Unlike them, I'm experiencing this guy's power in person. So it feels even more intense. If I keep filling the empty space inside me, I'm sure I can reach his level. But with these wounds, I can't recover right now. And then we have this Black Shinsu creeping out. Pathetic. Oh, is he Black March? Black March finally making an appearance in Season 3? Oh, right. Yuri let me borrow her. So he's... God. I'm trying to hold in my antipathy towards this entire situation. This fight is not good. The art isn't great. We're getting into the big Tower of God like problem of big messy panels that give like no new visual information half the time, just a bunch of clutter that the series could do without, and then like it could save See You in the Assistants some wrist pain by not putting in just useless cluttered panels. This would be a very cool form for Dumas, a very cool fight if it was with a different character, but Bomb should not be here at this level, at this stage. He shouldn't be here. It's dumb. And you know, I can't pretend it's not. Like, it's really, really lame seeing Bomb just make these massive jumps in Season 3. For the end of Season 2, we had these really cool fights against really special, interesting other regulars. We had the fight against Elaine. We had the fight against a regular Zahard. Zahard where he was at that stage in the climb. And then we just immediately take this jump into Season 3 to fighting rankers. And it's like, okay, Bomb's at the point where you can fight rankers. That's one thing. We know where like these low-level rankers are at. But then, and also we can say, okay, it's been 3 years. He's trained for those 3 years. But then we immediately start jumping from Bomb, oh no, I can't take these weak little rankers, to, oh, I'm fine fighting high rankers now. No, I'm fine fighting stronger high rankers. Now I'm fine fighting people that are nearly family head level. It's ridiculous. It's poor overall writing. It's more evidence of the crazy downhill slope of Season 3 Tower of God. Like, when it comes to the overall story, that's not to say that there haven't been good moments, haven't been good arcs. The Yama stuff was really good. The stuff we have been getting and that we just got with Gustang and Traumery has been good. But every time we see any storyline with Bomb, any plotline with Bomb, it's always the weakest part of any Season 3 arc. And it's not even like close most of the time. It's almost always the worst part by a long shot. Bomb, in his role as the main character in the overarching story of Tower of God, has been the worst part of Tower of God for now going on years. And it's so annoying to see. Especially, you know, you can look back at like the stuff. Season 2 gets the like older stuff fresh on my mind, and it's like how incredible Return of the Prince and Workshop Battle are, and even early Hell Train, going back through Hell Train, how incredible this all is. And then this is just like, what did Season 3 do to Tower of God? That's, again, not to say that there aren't amazing parts. The hotel arc was great, but the writing for Bomb has just been awful. And especially just now silly stuff like, oh, Black March, I forgot Yuri lent her to me. And like, yeah, it's not something to take that seriously, but God, it just sucks. It's so bad. Like, this fight would be great if Dumas was fighting somebody else. And then the overall setup for this fight. Bomb's fighting Dumas. Why at this point? What is the point in fighting him at this point? Like, okay, he beats Dumas somehow, which Bomb shouldn't think he should be able to do. Like, Bomb shouldn't be able to think he should beat Dumas. He's thought that he couldn't a bunch of times. So then this is putting Kunenrak in more danger, and himself in danger. Everything that's going on with the chess game and everything, again, this just seems like a dumb plan. It's stuff like what people complained about with why does Andrasi care about the chess game enough to risk her life for it? Why are you going to die for a chess game when the family heads are already fighting and your main like goal here should be to survive and for the rest of Bomb's team to survive, to help Bomb. So it's like, I don't know, Bomb's actions here, this entire plot line, it's like Siyu just didn't think of a good way to have Bomb actually fight Dumas. It seems so pointless, so meaningless, and way, a million times too early in the story. And then, you seem to have a gift for getting yourself into trouble. Every time I see you, you're up against someone far more powerful than yourself. But is Dumas far more powerful than Bomb? Is he? Because at this point, Bomb's like, oh yeah, I can just beat him at this point. And Bomb's been hit by a ton of giant attacks. He's been hit by Ignited Rosario, and he's still fine. Like, he's bleeding, but he's still fine. He's still gonna get back up and win somehow. So, again, is he that much weaker? And that's what I was saying, like, way back at the nest. You get to a certain point, and it's like, in like Bomb versus White stuff, you get to a certain point and it's like, why doesn't Bomb just fight Zahard right now? Why wait 500 more chapters or 600 more chapters? Why not just have Bomb fight Zahard right now? Because as we've seen with all of Bomb's fights, no matter how outmatched he is, no matter how bad things go, there will be some bullshit power that appears out of nowhere and he'll win. So why not chapter, what is it? It's 633. Why not by chapter 635 have Bomb beat Zahard, have that be done with? Because in every one of his fights, it'll happen the same when he fights Zahard. If he fights him in 2 chapters, he'll just get a power and win. There's no way for you to beat him at the moment. You're simply not strong enough. It's okay to give up sometimes. Knowing when to surrender is a virtue as well. But he isn't going to. He's going to fight. He's going to get a power up. He's going to win. Look, that's what you ought to be trying to destroy. Not him. She points at the heart. That right there is Dumas's heart. I'm well aware of that, but I thought I needed the heart's power to save Khun and Rak. If Khun's heart is really stopped, I need the power to fix it. And why would he think this? When did you get so clever? You've grown a lot since I last saw you, but you're missing something. Look over there. Is that a sweet fish? You know what it's waiting for, don't you? When you shoot the heart, it's waiting to use the power that will... Deus Ex Sweetfish coming in again and again. It's waiting to use the power that'll pour out from the heart to save that regular. So just trust me. So anytime it has enough power to siphon, it can just keep reviving Khun again and again. So this isn't as cool as Khun being like, okay, now I'll freeze my heart and use it to unthaw myself. It's no, Khun actually sucked. He actually just died. Which is fair. He was completely outmatched. You can't really blame Khun for dying here in any way. Like, Khun just got screwed over by a tougher opponent who also snuck up on him. Like, there's nothing Khun could do in that situation. But riding-wise, it's like, okay, Khun can just die again and again, and we'll just revive him again and again. So, like, what does any of this matter? This just feels so contrived. So just trust me and shoot. Sometimes the best way to defeat beasts like him is to go around them. And that's where we end. Shit chapter, shit fight, shit main character. Like, I'm sorry for being so negative, but yeah, Bomb's story has gone, I think, maybe irreparably downhill. I don't know that there's anything possible that Siyu can do to make me like or care about Bomb as a main character again. I'm just really, after years now, it's been years since we left this good season 2 stuff. And Bomb's personality in Season 3, he's shown more personality, which I, especially in early Season 3, kept saying was a great thing. But I can't cope forever. I can't pretend forever that he's not a bad main character. That his writing hasn't been bad. Like, not just, it's bad. Bomb's writing's been awful. This fight isn't good. The art for it is sloppy, and even the art for the good stuff, there's still just so much mess, so much clutter. It's just not been good. Tower of God has gone really downhill. And again, that doesn't mean that there can't be good things, but geez, are we not getting them with this? I would say that this, again, I've been saying it for, again, months now. This is easily, to me, the worst arc in Tower of God. And that's not to say that there aren't good things. Trauma has been good. Aside from that, the general setup for the arc, the way that we've gone through the arc, it's just not been good. Anything that Kun and Rak touch during this arc, I don't want to blame Rak. Honestly, Rak hasn't been that bad. Anything Bam and Kun touch during this arc, just they have the reverse Midas. They're turning it to shit. Yeah. I don't know. I don't like it. Bad chapter. I'm sorry whenever I'm negative, but what can you do? Do you want me to sit and lie to you? Do you want me to sit and pretend that a bad story is good? Bam's story at this point is bad. It was good in season 1 and 2. Season 3, I don't know if CU can recover it at this point. I am very much done with Bam as a main character. So that's where I'll end and do the like, comment, subscribe stuff. Yeah. Again, I'm very sorry to be negative because I want to make positive videos. I want to share videos about the things in the series that I love and share my experience going through them with all of you, talk to all of you about them. I want to do that. I really want to just only make videos on positive stuff, and that's for what I've done for the channel, what I've done. If I don't like something, I don't cover it. I don't sit and make videos to complain about it and badmouth something and hurt other people's fun and enjoyment of it. I instead just cover things that I like and are fun. But it would be kind of weird now for me to just, after almost 9 years, stop covering Tower of God. But at the same time, Tower of God now is certainly not what it was 9 years ago. Yeah, I don't know what to do at this point, because I don't want to stop covering the series. It's a series that I've been reading for, 14 years probably? 13, 14 years? So I've invested so much love into it. I've done so many big Tower of God projects. I have, again, spent hours every single week on Tower of God content. And yet, it's just not been good lately. And it is up and down. There are parts of the season 3 arcs before this, the Nest saga. I generally like the Nest. The bomb parts of it are the weakest parts. The cage has flaws. I still don't mind the cage. I think the walls are straight up good. The hotel arc is really good. The stuff between the hotel and here, again, if we're not with Bomb, it's probably going to be pretty good. If we're with Bomb, it's probably not going to be pretty good. But this arc has been awful. Like, the Sprout arc has just not been good, and this is an arc, I keep bringing it up almost every week, where you've got family heads, you've got Yurik who should be coming in, you've got FUG, you've got Revolution who we haven't seen in forever, and CU just keeps, disorganizing things and putting things in a weird order and, having the most convoluted and unnatural feeling ways of piecing these conflicts together this arc. We have so many amazing pieces, but these pieces, like a chessboard, aren't put up there in a really structured way to tell an exciting story. They're just thrown up there haphazardly, making no sense half the time. This arc just hasn't been good. I do not know what to say, because I want to look for any sliver of brightness, any sliver of good, and in this arc I can see those slivers of good with Traumare's character writing, with what's going on with Gastang and how he's being developed, but I cannot see it with this chapter. I cannot see a sliver of good this chapter. This chapter sucked. The end. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow on Twitter if you want, or if you want to join the Discord server, asking you can get a link. If you want to help support the channel by dropping a super thanks, it's very much appreciated. And if you want to help support the channel and also get your name at the end of videos and get One Piece videos early, I actually remembered at only 2 p.m. today to make it public for everybody. Then if you want to support the channel and get all of that stuff, hit join down below to become a member, or go to patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description. And yeah, it's just so tough, because, when chapter 650 rolls around, I was talking about doing a new character poll, but how am I supposed to feel any sort of excitement for Tower of God? How am I supposed to feel any sort of will or want or motivation to work on Tower of God projects when the story's just been this bad? And catching up to the anime. The anime has been, a bad adaptation of arguably the peak of the story. And then the actual main story itself is in some of the worst places it's ever been. Tower of God, with the bad anime adaptation and the current, probably, I would say, easily worst arc in the series, the two of those things are teaming up. We are at the series' low point right now as a whole. So, yeah, ending it here. Thank you for people who are already patrons and channel members. Thank you to Chosen Regular Evan Holly, Magical Girls, FRNono, Abyss Knight, JA, and the D-Ban. Cheriton students, David Link, Stephen Folded Goal, Slayer candidates, SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Element, Pate Ardialo. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support, and thank you. I'll see you all next time.